In the vast and intricate tapestry of World War II, there exist numerous strategies and events that have been etched into the annals of history, each playing a crucial role in the outcome of the war. However, among these, there is one strategy that remains somewhat shrouded in mystery, a strategy so daring and unconventional that it has often been overlooked in the broader narratives of the conflict. This is the story of the Doolittle Raid, an operation so bold that it not only challenged the conventional military tactics of its time, but also had a profound impact on the psychological landscape of the war. It's a tale of courage, innovation, and the unyielding spirit of those who dared to challenge the impossible. To understand the significance of the Doolittle Raid, it's essential to delve into the context in which it was conceived and executed. By the early months of 1942, the world was deeply embroiled in the chaos of World War II. The Axis powers, led by Germany, Italy, and Japan, had made significant strides, expanding their territories through aggressive military campaigns. The Japanese, in particular, had been on a relentless march, capturing key territories in Asia and the Pacific, including the Philippines, Malaysia, and Singapore. The surprise attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941 had drawn the United States into the conflict, but by the spring of 1942, the U.S. and its allies were still reeling from the aftermath, struggling to regain their footing in the Pacific. The U.S. military was faced with a daunting task: to counter the Japanese expansion without suffering further debilitating losses. It was during this period of strategic reassessment that the idea of launching a bombing raid on the Japanese mainland began to take shape. The concept was radical for its time, given the distances involved and the technological capabilities of the U.S. military. However, it was precisely this kind of unconventional thinking that could potentially turn the tide of the war. The man behind this audacious plan was Lieutenant Colonel James H. Doolittle, a seasoned pilot and commander who had a reputation for his bravery and innovative approach to military strategy. Doolittle's plan was to use U.S. Army Air Force's B-25B Mitchell bombers, launched from an aircraft carrier, to attack targets in Japan. The idea was met with skepticism at first, given the risks and logistical challenges involved. The B-25 was not designed for carrier operations, and the distance from the intended launch point to the Japanese mainland was at the very edge of the bomber's range. Moreover, the crew would have to navigate through hostile airspace with limited support, facing not only Japanese fighter planes, but also the daunting task of finding a safe haven after the mission, as the bombers would not have enough fuel to return to the carrier. Despite these challenges, the plan received the backing of Admiral Chester Nimitz and General Henry Arnold, who saw the potential psychological impact of such a raid on the Japanese populace and the military. The operation was given the green light, and a team of volunteers was assembled under Doolittle's command. The selected airmen underwent rigorous training, learning how to take off from a short runway, navigate with precision, and endure the physical and mental strains of a long and dangerous mission. On April 18, 1942, the USS Hornet, the carrier from which the B-25s would be launched, set sail from Alameda, California, bound for Japan. The crew of the Hornet and the airmen of the Doolittle Raid were about to embark on a journey that would make history. As the task force approached the Japanese coast, the tension mounted. The original plan was to launch the bombers from a distance of about 400 miles from Japan, but due to the sighting of a Japanese patrol boat, the decision was made to launch the aircraft earlier than planned, from approximately 600 miles out. At 8:20 a.m. on April 18th, the first B-25, piloted by Colonel Doolittle himself, roared down the deck of the Hornet and took to the skies, followed in quick succession by the remaining 1-5 aircraft. The mission was underway, and the fate of its participants hung in the balance. The bombers flew low over the water, using their radar and dead reckoning to navigate the long distance to their targets. As they approached the Japanese coast, they ascended to higher altitudes to avoid detection, before descending to their bombing altitudes. The target ETS for the raid included military installations, aircraft factories, and oil refineries in several major cities, including Tokyo, Yokohama, Kobe, and Nagoya. The bombers dropped their payloads, causing significant damage and starting fires that would burn for days. The immediate material impact of the raid was substantial, but it was the psychological effect that proved to be even more profound. For the first time since the beginning of the war, the Japanese mainland had been attacked, breaching the sense of invincibility that had characterized the Japanese military campaign up to that point. The aftermath of the raid was marked by chaos and confusion. The Japanese military scrambled to respond, but the bombers had already departed, leaving behind a trail of destruction. The airmen, meanwhile, were fighting for their lives, attempting to reach safe havens in China. The plan had been for the bombers to land at designated airfields in eastern China, where they would be refueled and the crews would be given safe passage back to the United States. However, due to the early launch and the resulting decrease in fuel, many of the aircraft did not have enough fuel to reach their intended destinations, leading to a series of crash landings and bailouts. Of the 80 airmen who participated in the Doolittle raid, 3 were killed in action and 8 were captured by the Japanese. Of those captured, 3 were later executed for alleged war crimes. The remaining airmen made their way to safety, often with the help of Chinese civilians and guerrilla fighters who risked their lives to aid the Americans. The Doolittle raid was a military operation that transcended its immediate tactical objectives, becoming a symbol of resistance and defiance in the face of overwhelming odds. The impact of the Doolittle raid on the course of the war was significant. It forced the Japanese to reassess their military strategy, pulling back forces from the front lines to defend the homeland against potential future attacks. This strategic shift gave the Allies a much-needed breathing space, allowing them to regroup and launch counteroffensives. The raid also had a profound effect on the morale of both the American and Japanese peoples. For Americans, it was a beacon of hope in a time of uncertainty, proof that the U.S. military could strike back against the enemy. For the Japanese, it was a sobering reminder that their homeland was not invulnerable to attack, sowing seeds of doubt among the populace. In the years following the Doolittle raid, the tide of the war began to turn in favor of the Allies. The Battle of Midway in June 1942, where the U.S. Navy decisively defeated a Japanese naval force, marked a significant turning point in the Pacific theater. The Allies then began a long and arduous march towards Japan, fighting through island after island, gradually closing in on the Japanese mainland. The psychological impact of the Doolittle raid, combined with the subsequent military victories, played a crucial role in this shift, undermining the Japanese will to resist and paving the way for the eventual invasion of the Japanese homeland. The Doolittle raid stands as a testament to the power of innovative thinking and bold action in the face of adversity. It was an operation that challenged conventional wisdom, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible in military strategy. The bravery and sacrifice of the airmen who participated in the raid will forever be remembered as a pivotal moment in the history of World War II, a moment that illuminated the path to victory in the darkest of times. As we reflect on this extraordinary event, we are reminded of the enduring spirit of those who dare to challenge the unknown, who pushed the limits of human endurance, and who, through their actions, changed the course of history. In conclusion, the Doolittle raid was more than just a military operation. It was a beacon of hope, a symbol of resilience, and a testament to the human spirit's capacity to overcome even the most daunting challenges. As we delve into the intricacies of this event, we uncover a complex tapestry of courage, strategy, and sacrifice, woven together by individuals who, in the face of overwhelming adversity, chose to defy the odds and forge a new path. The legacy of the Doolittle raid continues to inspire generations, serving as a powerful reminder of the impact that daring leadership, innovative strategy, and unyielding determination can have on the course of history.